This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're going to jump back into the world of Transformers Generation 2 to check out this beautiful little figure called Mantaray. And while his subgroup doesn't have a specific name, they made 4 different figures that had these little rotor things with them. A helicopter, a plane, a car, and this boat, speedboat. And I will say this was, for whatever reason, and I can't say for sure, but he ended up being one of my favorite figures from the line. I just like the way he looks. And this would be another one that I would like to see made in the current lineup of Transformers. Unfortunately, he's a little bit loose. Also, with his head design, I actually would have thought that he was maybe supposed to be an upgrade to Sea Spray. Aside from the fact that, as I recall, Sea Spray actually did make an appearance in Generation 2 figure line. But as you can see here, he's got a pretty nice little robot mode. Of course, this is an early Generation 2 figure, meaning the articulation is pretty limited, like the old Generation 1 ones. So, there are no way to swing his arms. They are stuck that direction. But he does have a hinge at the elbow. Actually, more, yeah, I guess you call it the elbow still. Not much of a forearm, though, you know. Basically, it's like at the wrist. And he can kick out and do the splits. He can even point his toes while he does it. So actually, I guess he could be a ballerina. Yeah, okay. Sorry. Aside from that, he can't move really at all. So that is the one problem with some of these old figures. However, I still really like this little guy. He's got very little kibble on his back and everything too. And they had like Autobot written all over these guys back in the day. A lot of them had their own names painted on them too. But yeah, he's just a cool little figure. However, there was a special gimmick with these figures as well. You saw his weapon earlier, then he was holding it. So you twist that a few times there. You see this little button there? Remember, oh, there, you see the little button there? Make sure you can see it. This is back when they had special features and action gimmicks and stuff. Oh, that was sad. Okay, let's turn a little bit more. Let's see if we get a little bit more oomph to that one. There we go. So the little spinner thingy shoots. So it does sideways. Actually, let's see if we can hit him with it himself. Nope. Oh, there's that. Right? Cool little gimmick. Something you won't see today, which is too bad. So overall, again, just take another good look at his face. Like I said, he looks a lot like Sea Spray to me. And when you look at the artwork for him, both his head and this chest plate were supposed to be yellow. When you know, so that also kind of adds to this Sea Spray look to him. Transformation wise, this is going to be real difficult, so please follow closely. You push the head down, or you push the chest and head part down. Fold the hands back so they're lined up on the side. Rotate the backs here, like that. Kind of a double rotation. Now we can turn them around. Flip the feet back up like he's doing the on point again. And now, kind of like with the front, you pull out and push back. Out and back. And then, of course, you know, this was the handle that he was holding on to earlier. These two things plug into these holes back here on his foils. Like so. Reattach that. And boom, you have his boat mode. His like racing speedboat. I actually believe there is a specific name for this style of boat, but I cannot for the life of me remember what it's called. That's what I said, though, man. Powered by Autobot. And they did have all the Autobot stuff on their branding. There's the Generation 2 Autobot logo. There's even a couple of seats in there you can see for passengers if you had figures small enough. Back of the boat looks pretty good, and you know, obviously you can launch this from the boat mode too if you wanted. And I may never find that again. The front, little off-putting. He's got a hole in the middle where his crotch is, but that is due to transformation overall. I wouldn't think this would be that difficult for them to recreate this transformer, though, in modern times with modern articulation. You also note there's virtually no robot kibble in vehicle mode. And he's got these little... This is kind of nice, too, because these fins look like they're perfectly in place to help control the boat in the water. And it works really well as a stand as well for him. Now, the thing is, with the Transformers and the Generation 2 ones that are being made today, let's be honest, all the ones that they're doing are just repaints of Generation 1 figures, or with the one exception being the Laser Optimus Prime. That's the only, quote, original Generation 2 Transformer that was made as it was. And I think part of the reason why they did that, too, was because of they had an immediate repaint of Scourge from Robots in Disguise. They did the repaint of him to be like, what, Toxitron, I think is what it was. They've also used that for that Target cab. So I'm sure they already had lots of plans for that one when they made it. As with our previous Generation 2 entries, we do have his file card. Once more, I do like to remind you that this is when Hasbro actually spent money on these kind of things, because they have that Dayglow orange, yellow, and pink on there, meaning that those colors are not processed colors. They are single hits. So when they printed this card, they did cyan, magenta, yellow, black, Dayglow orange, Dayglow yellow, and Dayglow pink. Because even if you could like combine a couple of these colors, like the Dayglow orange and the Dayglow pink and the yellow to make that orange, I don't think it would come out looking that good either. So I'm pretty sure it's an extra 3 shots of ink. Autobot Mantaray. Function: Ocean Defense Specialist. If you blink, you'll miss me. This sea-scraping superboat blasts Decepticons right out of the water. Few have engaged him in battle without ending up on the ocean floor. Arms and legs convert to reinforced twin hulls, and his hydro-cooled turbojet engine provides him with speeds up to 200 miles per hour. When threatened, he unleashes his fearsome rotoprop weapon that forces enemies to take a dive. He's very daring, but sometimes a little reckless. Strength 7, Intelligence 8, Speed 10, Endurance 5, Rank 6, Courage 7, Firepower 8, Skill 7. So, real quick, convert him back. Just because I want to get him back into robot mode, and he's really simple and doesn't take much time. But yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about when I mentioned the coloring on him. Whoops. Oh, shoot. So you can see where his head there and the top of the chest piece here was supposed to be yellow also, at least in the artwork. So yeah, he would have looked more like Sea Spray. But that's our look at the Generation 2 Mantaray. Like I said, I want to see him in the current Transformers line. I see no reason why they couldn't do it. But they have not really gone deep dive into Generation 2. Just like I said earlier, they've recolored ones that were recolored. And some of them they did the weird-ass recolors, like that first Generation 2 Grimlock with the tiger striping. You know, now they're giving us finally the blue version. They did Jazz in that weird orange and red paint scheme. They did Sideswipe in the... yeah, that was another tiger striped one, wasn't it? When Sideswipe had a black and red version that looked really awesome, so I don't know why they didn't do that. Although they did give us that one as a different character. But anyway, that'll conclude our look at this figure. Please let me know what you guys think of him. And if you enjoyed this look at our Generation 2 Mantaray, please feel free to propel that like button. And if you want to hear more of my nonsense, please feel free to subscribe. I thank you for watching. Peace and love.